Absolutely not. I know Olivia did not hustle the president, her boo that she's been sleeping with. You know he's married to Mellie, crazy self. I know she didn't hustle the president into admitting that he had an affair with the White House correspondent, Janine, to get her other boo, Sergeant Jake, out of the hole. Y'all, Olivia has taken the profession, the oldest profession in the world, to a whole new level. I know this hoe did not. Olivia Pope, Jake must have gave it to you. Now, I'm going to jump around, but I'm going to go get right to the meat. So, basically, why did, I guess, her father, Eli, gave her some type of ultimatum that the president admits to his affair with Janine, and he'll let Jake live, or if he denies it, then he'll kill Jake, who is supposedly in his hole. Well, we last saw Jake go in the hole in season 2 when he actually saved Olivia's life. Lord have mercy. So they had it all set. Well, Mellie was looking at this little news thingy or whatever, and Mellie hears that she could have had a career, a political career, but it's just a shame that maybe Mellie is the one who is just a jealous wife and this affair never really happened. And Mellie gets low-key infuriated again and makes a little stop over to Olivia's house. And basically Olivia has gone down to the morgue to go see, I guess she's doing this ritual where every night the mortician will call her and have her come down to see if a new body is Jake or whatever. So she dips out for 2 seconds to go see if the body is really Jake's, and it isn't. But within that little lapse of time, Mellie has gotten to Janine and made her take a deal to admit to having an affair with the president, because Mellie is determined to have her way in this, okay? So then, let me tell you, there's always going to be a line of the night. And the line of the night was, are my balls presidential enough for you, Cy? I believe were the exact words that President Fitz actually said. He uttered those words. So Olivia calls Fitz because she refuses to be backed into a corner or to have an ultimatum provided by her father. So Olivia was like, there's a reason why you're president. It's because, you can make things happen and nobody can tell you no, and yada yada yada. So she literally has him by the balls, because anything that she wants, he'll do, even if it's getting another man out of the hole. Now, Fitz knows something went down between, Fitz knows something went down between Olivia and Jake. So he hung up on Olivia, in the conversation before, he hung up on her. She was like, make sure you figure out what's going on with B16 or something like that. And he was like, well, Jake's not my favorite person in the world right now. I'm just like, what? Why are we talking about, Olivia, you done slept with both these men. Why are we even talking about why? Girl, stop, okay? Please just stop all of it. Olivia, this is getting out of hand. You're taking this profession to a whole, to a whole new level. I don't get it. She had a perfectly good candidate in the congressman, but I guess he wasn't married, or I don't know what it was. I don't know what it is about these other two men, because besides them being Caucasian, they're vastly different. Jake is more abrupt and more, he's more take charge, and Fitz is more he does whatever Olivia says, basically. So they're totally different in their demeanors, and she's attracted to both of them. So anyways, what was another point? Oh, Olivia's daddy is so mean. I believe he trumps Cyrus. That's what I believe. And I believe Cyrus reports to him. Yeah, he's evil. He is evil. He is a hot mess. I could go in so many directions with her daddy, but basically she finds out that her daddy is the one 5 years ago. She finds out that her daddy is the one who actually put who put dude in the hole, the one that works for her, Hank, in the hole. Huck, my bad. Woo! Need to look at the character synopsis. Who put Huck in the hole a couple years ago. And, but she never told Huck that that her daddy was the commander. All he knows is that they stopped pursuing him, and that was that. And so, she had a freestanding dinner date with him, with her father, like once a week or what have you. And right after she found out who he really was and what he really did, she cut off ties with him, because I guess he was trying to make amends, like I said in the beginning, make amends with her and form some type of daughter daddy relationship. Well, that got it got cut the hell off, because also Olivia decides that now she was living with the congressman. I forgot what his name was, but she was living with the congressman for a while. That was her boo thing 5 years ago, the black dude. And he had asked her to marry him, and she would not accept. Like, okay, Olivia, you got somebody who doesn't have a wife, who doesn't have a girlfriend, and he wants to marry you. He dude said, I'm not gonna ask you again. You need to give me an answer. She was like, don't push me. And I'm just like, Olivia, you're just so trifling. Like, you're just so trifling all the way around. Like, you don't even, like, the dude must be married or crazy for you to deal with him. And so I'm just like, what's wrong with Olivia? Like, her dad, I mean, she has some deep-seated issues with older men, some daddy issues. She has some deep-seated, like, to the roots. She planted the seed herself. She got some issues with her daddy, with men, with daddy issues. She's just crazy. And so the senator basically has control over, like, private missions, things like little missions like B-16. Okay, and so B-16, she figures, like, if her daddy didn't tell her, because he never really confirmed that he was in charge of B-16, but his whole demeanor changed, and it gave her the answer that she just did not want to hear. And she figured she was going to manipulate the situation and finally accept her boyfriend's proposal and bring the boyfriend to dinner. That's why it's called Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. So, wait, let me go back. They had a dinner in the beginning, in the opening shot. They had a dinner, and Olivia was very, again, stoic, and he was like, I am trying, to make amends, and when somebody's trying to make amends, you accept it and you try too. So Olivia said, I'm fine. She thought about it for a minute, and I guess she was like, he's right. Let me try to be a daughter. Let's talk about some stuff, because I guess she was just so mad at him over whatever. And she goes, I'm fine. And he looked at her very quizzically and she was like, you asked me how I was, and I'm fine. And so he softens up and he was like, oh, okay. And he sits back, and she was like, I have a boyfriend. And Eli was like, is he good enough for you? And she was like, and he did this thing. He was like, no, like, really, is he good enough for you? Like, and like, he did this thing. He looked at her like, I'm not playing with you, little girl. I asked you a question. Is he good enough for you? And she just going hee hee ha ha and never answered the question. Okay, fast forward to the second dinner. So she brings her boyfriend by and was like, yeah, I'm gonna marry him, and you know, his job entails that he protects people from being in illegal like government programs and yada yada yada. And so she sends her boyfriend, the congressman, the senator or whatever, she sends him to the back to go open a bottle of wine and tells him it needs to breathe a little bit. Like, they're so bougie. Like, the whole beginning sequence was so bougie. I was just like, y'all just doing so much over here in DC, you know, in fake DC. So then her daddy might have slammed the door. When I tell you he closed the door, like he slammed the door like he did it the black way, I ain't gonna lie. Or even like, it's not even really black way, but he did it in a attitude. He had such a nasty attitude when he closed that door, like, now you're gonna bring this fool to the dinner table and you're gonna push my hand. She said, give me back Huck. Give me back Huck. Because apparently she got robbed, okay? And Huck was homeless. They did a flashback 5 years ago. And Huck was still in his homeless state. And she got robbed or got mugged or whatever. And Huck went into military mode, to assassin mode, and nearly killed, or I think he did snap a couple of necks. And then he disappeared. So that was how... That's why she was like, give me back Huck. So they never showed him disappearing, but that's, I mean, you put 1 and 1 together, you get 2. Okay. So anyways, they're at they don't even show the dinner of when she brought her boyfriend. All you see is that like a couple days later, I'm sorry, I'm laughing because her daddy's just so evil and he's just so mean, and he, like, you want to hate him, but you don't. Well, I don't. I think it's funny personally because the way he gives you things, he gives it to you, but he makes sure that you suffer a bit. Like last week when he told her, you open up your knees and you could have did better. You know, the president ain't got no power. So dude was like, okay, well, you got him back. And her daddy called her on the phone. Now they're in the subway. This is like a couple of days later. This is after the dinner because, you know, he didn't want her to marry that congressman because he didn't want his business out there, because he knew that she could manipulate the situation. So he said, okay, you got your little homeless, what do you say, your homeless project or something like that. You got your little homeless friend back, and you need to break off the engagement with your fiance. But this is gonna have to happen after he recovers. She said, excuse me? He said, oh, you haven't heard, have you? She said, you know, she did that little thing like, what? He's like, yeah, he was in a car accident, and you know, he got a couple of bones broken. He rattled off all these medical things that happened to him, and then he was like, but he'll survive. But once he survives, or you know, once he comes to, let him down gently. The man's been through enough. And I'm like, oh, you so mean. Like Olivia said, you and I are through. He said, baby, we family. We ain't never through. I was like, Eli is becoming the character that I'm loving to hate. I don't like him. He's mean, but I love it. I live for his spontaneity. I live for his responses because it's too much. It's throwing Olivia. Olivia usually is the one who's, you know, with the quirky comebacks. But yes, you are your father's daughter. Child, that is your daddy. Because he says things that you're like, what? Why is he so evil? But nonetheless, I digress. How'd they end this? Oh. Are my balls presidential enough for you? Sigh is the line. Fitz might have grown him some balls. And because Olivia told him, you are the president and there's a reason why you're in the position, he went and admitted to an affair that he did not do. He destroyed that girl's life. But then she was going to destroy her life anyway because Mellie offered her $2 million. And she was like, I might as well go ahead and capitalize off it anyways. And I'm just like, yeah, you might as well, because, I mean, you ain't got no career at the White House no more anyway. Even if Olivia fixes it, you still have this blemish over your whole character. So you might as well take the $2 billion. And and so she got the president up there admitting to an affair that he ain't ever have. And then here comes Sally trotting down the hall. I don't think I don't think Janine is the one that you had an affair with. I really don't think. I think that you're lying. And the president let Sally just look so like flustered. She couldn't understand what was going on. She's like, I think you're backing out on our deal. And he was like, no, Sally, I did. I had sex with Janine all over this White House. And look, those weren't the exact words, but he was like, and I think my constituents will forgive me for it. And the president might have walked away, and he might have got a little bit more taller, because Sally just looked at Sally, girl, you're not gonna be a president, okay? Okay, Sally. Oh, one more thing I wanted to say. I love some Cyrus. When Cyrus is under the gun, what I tell you, Cyrus gets too frazzled too quickly. Ethan came in there looking, because he had asked him in the beginning, where's Janine? Because Janine had disappeared and went over to Olivia's office. So basically she fell off the radar. And Ethan was in there, and he was like, well, first the secretary, Cy's secretary was in there. He was like, no, the president can't go do some type of activity with the Dalai Lama, or something happened. And he was like, we ain't got time to be explaining the president's sexual affairs. And then, because he was already irritated that I guess some type of activity called for some type of explanation of what's going on in the White House. And then here come Ethan knocking on the door. Sir, he might have said sir like 4 times. Cyrus said, what, Ethan? It was so funny. When Cyrus gets mad, his whole face get red quick, and he was like, what, Ethan, what? And he was like, we found Janine, and they cut. But that was funny as hell. I ain't gonna lie, I'm still laughing. Cyrus, boy, he needs to just lay down and take a nap or something, because he just gets too frazzled too quickly. So anyways, y'all, that's my review. Please comment. I might have missed, I'm sure I missed some things, but I think I covered a lot. Subscribe if you liked it. Like I said last time, subscribe if you like it. Thumbs up if you like it. Or hell, you ain't got to do neither one. Just tune in next week. All right. Again, this is Anji Ray, ANJI. RAY. You can follow me on Twitter. And also I'll have like all of my links in the description box. Okay, y'all, I'm through. I'm so through with Scandal this week. Guess who's coming to dinner? I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.